Nathan Cox and his home repair and remodeling. Today I'm going to come to you with tips about sanders. Your small electric sanders is what I'm talking about today. Now of course you have your square pad sanders, your belt sanders, and then you have your random orbital sanders. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. That's what I have. I find this being one of the most versatile sanders you can get. It's a great little thing. I'm going to show you a couple of tips about sanders. Hopefully bring a light to a couple new products that are available for them. When you're out to buy a sander, most random orbital sanders are going to run, for the cheapest ones, about $50 up to about $100, give or take. So about the $70 range is going to get you a pretty decent random orbital sander. A couple of things to keep in mind when you buy it. Some of your cheaper models have no speed control. This one here has a speed control right here on the handle. I find that to be invaluable. There's things that I want to take it standing real easy and I just crank it way down, and other things I really want to tear into and I turn it way up. I can't imagine having one of these sanders and having no speed control. You know, if I want something with no speed control, I'd probably just get one of those little square pad sanders. But this is what I've got, and I've had this one for years. A lot of advantages for the random orbital sanders: the fact that the pads move not only in a spinning direction but in a kind of a shaking random pattern, kind of what's given in their name. It doesn't leave a lot of the scrapes on the finishing of your wood. It generally gives a real clean finish on that. So that's another important thing to think about when you buy a sander, is what you're going to be sanding. Most people are going to do more than just drywall sanding. They're going to be typically using it on wood. So you're going to want a clean sanded finish when you're done. It's another thing that the random orbital sanders will do for you. Exhaust ports. That's another thing to be thinking about. Where are you going to be sanding and what are you going to be sanding? Now, if you're going to be sanding a lot of hardwoods, they're going to give off less dust than, say, drywall. Drywall gives off an insane amount of dust. But every wood gives off dust. Are you going to be doing this outside? Is this just for a deck project? All of your random orbital sanders that I know of come with some kind of a dust capturing system, extraction. But what I find is a lot of times I am sanding indoors, and I don't want the dust being caught in the little bag or the little chute. I want it being collected a little bit better than that. Some of your sanders are designed to be able to hook right up to a shop vac hose, whether it be the smaller hose or the larger hose. Some of them have an adapter. Some of them you just pull the little dust collector right off and you can stick on your hose right away. It's another thing to consider when you're looking at buying the sander. This one here obviously did not have that, but I was able to modify that using an 1.5 inch inside diameter hose. I was able to fit over this oval end, and I could take the smaller shop vac hose and stick it right in there. That, in my opinion, when it comes to when it comes to sanding drywall, is just completely necessary. You absolutely have to have good dust collection when you're doing any kind of drywall. And it's really amazing how much this will catch. I almost don't do any masking. I still mask off, especially any electronics that are in the area, but this collects probably 90% of all the dust that comes off of that, if not a little bit better. One other thing that these things have is they have a really easy sanding pad change out. Most of them are the hook and loop, which is basically Velcro. So you get your sanding pads. Most of these are going to be a 5 inch, and they're going to have 8 holes. Your sanding pads have the soft hooks on them. You line them up, you stick them on, and that's it. When the pad wears out, pull them off, and throw another one on there. Excellent. One downside of this feature is that the hooks wear out. These pads here, depending on how hard it is for you to find a replacement pad, generally run between $15 to $20 to replace. And that can kind of add into some of the ownership costs of this sander. Now I found something, because this pad here is obviously more than just the hooks. It's also the foam pad there, and it connects to the main drive, everything like that. So it's more than just the Velcro. You get the whole thing, but the whole thing does not wear out. It's just the hooks. So here's a new product, or at least new to me, and it's in the Springfield metro area here. It's from Gator. They make a lot of the sandpaper, products, period. Now this one here seems to be only available in the 5 inch with the 8 holes, which is going to be the most common anyways. It's by far the most common. What it has is it has just the Velcro part, just the hooks in here. It's got 2 pads, glue enough for the 2 pads, and a piece of 100 grit sandpaper. And I went ahead and I've done that on this one here. So that's a small product review. That cost me $15. So that's the cost of one of the cheaper pads. It's got 2 of the Velcro things on there. You take this off your sander. So after you've unbolted it, you take it off. You're going to take the sandpaper and sand off any of the remaining hooks. Then you're going to want to clean it off real good, make sure it's dry, put the glue on it, and then set the the hook sheet on there. You're going to want to set some kind of a light weight on it, so because it wants to set up. I think it said 24 hours before usage. Go ahead and read the back and double check that for me. I have this little, on my weight set. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys have free weights at home. This is a 2.5 pound weight. Not only was it almost the right size, just perfectly to fit on there, but the weight's pretty good too. I set it on there to help make sure that it stayed together and compressed, so that the glue wouldn't separate during the drying process. Also, another good tip when you do that is take a sheet of wax paper, rip it off, and lay it down, because you're going to find, I don't know if you can see it here, but some of the glue dripped through some of the holes. It's going to more than likely happen. You're going to have a couple places where the glue is going to come through, and even to the wax paper is trying to hold on. So don't ruin your countertop by doing this. Throw some wax paper down below, let that puppy dry. Now so far it seems to work great, and I have good high expectations of this product, and the fact that I get 2 of them for the same price it cost me for 1 pad, and they're right there with the sandpaper discs. They're right next to the discs at the local hardware store. Very easy to get a hold of. I didn't have to do a special order at the repair desk at the tool store to get it. So that's a little tip on there. I hope this video gave you some information about your sanders, for those people that are looking at buying one. Hopefully this sheds some light on a couple things to look for. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up. I have more information in the in the comments section there. I got my Facebook page link. You can check that out. Thank you. Until next time, this is Nathan Cox.